What's up, everybody? It's your girl vibing with it, and I'm back again with another late reaction video, guys. We getting off into what it really was about. For me, I don't even think it was about other baby mamas. I think it was just about him taking her money, her mama money, and having them going in and out of the doggone with the lawsuit, going at it, just constantly going at it for no reason. Y'all, I just can't believe this story. I can, and I guess you could say sometimes we don't want to hear these stories, but we need to hear them because this is happening. Evidently, it's been happening. So let's get more off into the story. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the post notification bell so that when I upload, you know that I've done so. But y'all, ain't it interesting? I just had to come back on and say that how the story gets deeper and deeper. Let's get it.
And I'm here to tell you how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 4. So I need to go back through 2009 a little bit more in depth because that's where a lot of your questions are. So the first part of 2009, I'll say the first quarter, I am confiding in Shawnee. I'm talking to her about pretty much everything I'm going through. She was one of the first people I told that I was pregnant, so I really thought I had a friend. When it came down to me telling her that Superman had reached out about trying to work things out, it was do what you feel is best for you and your son, follow your heart, don't listen to what people have to say, nothing biased. So I decide to work things out. As we're working things out, there are also conversations about a reality show. When I discussed it with him, he was all for it. He wanted to do it. He was excited about it. I told Shawnee, and easy sell. So during this time, we are working on our relationship. We are out in public. I mean, I'm going to the games. Our son is wearing his jersey. We had a Magic Dancer reunion. It was just a lot going on. I am buying a house. I am shooting a sizzle reel in Miami for the show. And that's when the verbal assault started. But I took my ass to LA and I went and I pitched that show to all those different networks. And I talked about how great of a relationship I was in. And I just knew I got it sold. I get back home and I find out that I have been cheated on with several women. All that I kept thinking in my head was, this man does not like to use condoms. I went off. I went to the clinic, I got tested, and I went off on Twitter. I mean, woo! I was letting his ass have it, y'all. Of course, he got pissed off, and we, broke up. And then a couple days later is when he comes by the house, and he's supposed to be picking up our son. He's mad because I would usually have a backpack and some of his favorite snacks at my house, but we're not together, so why the fuck would I have that? But anyway, obviously, he's in a bad mood, so I'm just trying to ignore his attitude. He's yelling in the house like, oh, I'm ready to go. And where's his bag? And I'm like, it's in the closet. He goes to the closet and I'm asking him like, yo, you good? Like, you okay? Because you acting real strange. He turns around and proceeds to tell me how stupid and useless I am, how I'm worth nothing, how nobody will ever want me. No man is ever going to want to be with me. How I'm the best that he could ever get. I'll be back. All these things. That's when I go into the family room and I tell his friend, like, yo, get your friend. He acting crazy. Like, what's wrong with him? And he comes out. That's when he grabs my hair, flings me into the entertainment center. Same thing with our son. I told this story in part 3. I don't really want to have to rehash it. But before they left, obviously his friend is saying, hey, man, stop. That's a female. But he's still screaming and calling me every name besides the one I was given. They then pick up our son, and they leave. I'm now left to have this conversation about what just happened with my goddaughter. After that, I then had to pick up our son from his house. I'm sorry, y'all. I do not know why I laugh or smile when I'm telling my trauma. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I know it looks weird. I know it looks crazy. I don't know if it's a coping mechanism. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I don't know why I do that. But they leave with our son, and like I said, I have to now go and pick him up from his house after this visitation, and I'm in his room, and that's when the knife situation happened. It should also be noted that prior to me going to pick up our son, we had had a few conversations, and I forgave him again. So I get to the house, and he asked me to come into his room. I go, he closes the door, and he pulls a knife out on me. He says, I could really kill you right now and claim self-defense, and they would believe me because everyone loves me here and they hate you. To attempt to rewrite history is crazy because those of you who were at the house that day know exactly what happened. But maybe that hypnotism did work. So he comes over to the house about a week or so later, and we're hanging out with our son, watching a movie in the family room. Remember, we're trying to work things out. And I go to the bathroom. When I come out the bathroom, he's in the bedroom. He wants to have sex. I say, no, my cycle is on. He says he wants head. And I say, no, our son is right there in the other room. He proceeds to get up. He shuts the door. He comes over to me and he pushes me down to the floor like he did before. And he proceeds to ram his waist into my face. If you can imagine what that feels like, think about someone punching you in your nose at 6'11", 200 pounds, and their pants are still on. Think about that happening over and over and over again to you. You're now in tears. Your son is in the next room. You've already basically been told that you're hated by your hometown, so call the police on Superman? Clark Kent? Baby Jesus of Orlando? No, you can't do that. Okay, so that situation happened, and that is what ultimately led me to leave the relationship. Not soon after that, the show got picked up. And that's when contracts started going around and our attorneys started speaking with each other. And because I was still signed on to do the show and he was not, they were concerned about what I was going to say on the show. So they were like, well, we just want to make sure that she doesn't say anything bad about him because of his career. And we don't want any type of, defamation. And of course, I'm like, well, is it defamation if it's true? But okay. And then it was also me saying, well, I don't plan on that being my storyline. I don't have to talk bad about him. I don't really have to talk about him at all. The next day, my attorney calls me to his office and he's like, hey, you need to get here as soon as possible. I need you to sign this agreement. And I was like, what agreement? He said, the agreement about what we talked about yesterday with you and Superman. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I get in my car, and I think I was even at the park because I was close. But I get to his office, and it's not even 4:50 yet. It's like 4:40 something. And he's like, sign this agreement. So I'm looking at it first. I'm trying to at least skim it. And he goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just checking I'm supposed to read everything. So he says it's basically the conversation that we had, a couple days prior, just in writing. I said, okay. I signed the paper. I trusted him to my detriment. He then goes, hurry up, we gotta go. I'm like, okay. So we're rushing out the office. I'm right behind this man, and we go to get in the car. He's like, what you doing? I was like, you said we gotta go. And he was like, well, not you. I was like, what do you mean, not me? He was like, you're not dressed appropriately. I had on an orange tank top and jeans and sneakers. This man went to court, and rather than me not be there for the judge to ask me if I knew what I was signing, for the judge to go through the different provisions of what that agreement said, and me have to agree to it, my attorney did that. You want to know what that agreement said? That I could not say his name any type of insinuation, his middle name, nobody in his family's name, his friend's name. I couldn't even say my son's name, y'all. And if anybody in the room was even talking about him, I would have to leave. And it said not till death, but till death and the end of time. That attorney later withdrew as my attorney. But there's a new agreement in place, which trumps the old one. So as much as I wanted to fight it and argue it down because it was on some bullshit, my attorney had to remind me, it's not about the little battles. It's about the war. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 5. Also important to note, when people ask, well, why couldn't you all try and work this out? Y'all needed therapy. We were actually given a parenting coordinator, and I went to all the appointments. He went to one. He stopped showing up. So she ended up writing a letter stating that she could not do her job because of his failure to participate. We are now at the end of 2009, and unbeknownst to me, this agreement I've signed has just basically destroyed my life. Well, not only am I fighting him in civil court, but I'm also fighting him in family court. They are filing all these motions claiming that I am denying visitation when half the time they asked for it, he wasn't even in town. But what does that mean? More attorney fees, more court costs. Every time a motion was filed, we had to answer. During this time, I am also dealing with one of his minions that is going on the internet and threatening to fight me at my son's birthday party. She was saying that someone was going to end up at the 33rd Street jail, that they needed to have her bail money because there was going to be trouble. I am expressing my concern regarding this person, and finally it was agreed that she would not come. So now here we are in the first quarter of 2010, and I'm filming the show. I am living my best life. I am outside. I am dancing at pool parties. And here comes another lawsuit. What does that mean? Another set of retainer fees. There goes my first check. So the second quarter of 2010, I am getting drained with attorney fees. I'm fighting him in family court as well as civil court. And I'm also doing promo for the show. I am now asked to go on the Wendy Williams show. Not as a guest, but as a how you doing girl. She asked me if my son's father was Superman. I said yes. I'm now sued. I am sued for $500 million. As I'm dealing with this latest lawsuit and people are laughing at me all over the internet and wishing hell on me, hoping that I go to jail, calling me every name in the book, I am also getting harassed by the same person who threatened to fight me at my son's birthday party. She is sending me messages about, ha ha ha, how does it feel to not be number one anymore? How does it feel to know you're not the only one? Don't you feel stupid? And what was she talking about? We have welcomed baby number 2, a little girl born in June of 2010. In September of 2010, there was another lawsuit. What does that mean? More money, in which at this point I did not have. He won. There was a writ of garnishment that was made out for November of 2010, and they went and looked for every single account that I had, and they took everything from me. Not only did they do that, they found the account that I had with my mother since I was a little girl, the very first account I ever had, and she was attached to it. It wasn't even an account that I used anymore. But because they didn't get anything out of that account from me, they took everything from her. They took my mom's entire savings. In the early part of 2011, I released my book, College Girls. I was hosting parties. I had a boyfriend, the one that bought me the dog. I was doing the weekly blog In the early part of 2011, I released my book, College Girls. I was hosting parties. I had a boyfriend, the one that bought me the dog. I was doing the weekly blog for the show. I was in Detroit doing the play Cheaters. I was hustling, y'all. Come June of 2011, wouldn't you know, by the grace of God, out pops Superman and Sister C. This one is a Christian. She is modest. She is a beautiful girl, all natural, and I mean, very Little House on the Prairie. Perfect for his image. He is getting baptized. He is giving himself to God. He is in love. Visitations seem as if they are becoming more consistent, so I'm grateful. August comes, and because visitation has become a little bit more consistent, my son is now waiting for him on the curb. Yes, just like the little picture of the kid sitting on the curb with a lunchbox waiting for their parent that never comes. That was my child, the one and only time I allowed him to do that. But nobody called to say that they weren't coming. And because I turned into the FBI, I find bitches instantly. I went on Twitter because I wanted to know where he was. And this was around the time where people were putting all their business out there. So I saw a picture and he was in New Jersey. He was on a basketball court with his pastor, Zachary Timms. Oh, I had to go back through my calendar and I was making sure that this was a day that he was supposed to have our son. And it was, and I reached out to my attorney. I sent the picture to my attorney and I'm like, what is going on? There was no response. So the next day, I get back on the internet because I want to see if there's at least a timeline of a return, because my plans have now changed, but it's always been that way. Well, all of a sudden, the Twitter page went from 10,000 plus tweets to 10, 20. What happened? Did he find out that I saw that he was in New Jersey and didn't get our son for visitation? No. I then see a headline that says, Pastor Zachary Timms is no longer with us. Oh. For the rest of that year, I minded my business. Although I was still fighting in court and talking about this nanny and being told I was a liar, I kept my mouth shut. Well, now we're in January of 2012 and I am dating my football player. And I am happy. A picture comes out of him taking a nap with my son. Fully clothed, very innocent picture. The narrative that is given is that my boyfriend was being inappropriate with him. They took that narrative and they ran with it for weeks. They didn't care that it could destroy this person's character, his career, his reputation. Nothing. It wasn't about the nanny who was actually being inappropriate. It was about a distraction. Why? Well, in February, that is when I was made aware that he was leaving Orlando. And then in March, here comes baby number 3. Baby number 3 is over a year old. Baby number 3 is a little girl. Baby number 3 was born the same year as baby number 2. We are now in April of 2012 and Superman is having back surgery in California, and I'm ecstatic that he is no longer here because I'm thinking he's going to leave me alone. He does not. I am hit with another lawsuit. In this lawsuit, I am almost immediately demanded to send my child to California for 6 weeks. I get 1 week of visitation. Yes, I was forced to send my child to California for 6 weeks to be with a person that he has not seen in 6 Baby number 3 is a little girl. Baby number 3 was born the same year as baby number 2. We are now in April of 2012 and Superman is having back surgery in California, and I'm ecstatic that he is no longer here because I'm thinking he's going to leave me alone. He does not. I am hit with another lawsuit. In this lawsuit, I am almost immediately demanded to send my child to California for 6 weeks. I get 1 week of visitation. Yes, I was forced to send my child to California for 6 weeks to be with a person that he has not seen in 6 months, even when he was in Orlando. That visitation exchange was probably one of the worst situations I've ever had to endure. I watched my child hyperventilate. I watched my child scream. I watched my child reach for me to take him, and I had to let him go. I was given a visit halfway through, and I saw the same exact thing. And I was also there with one of my dancer friends that I dance with in Miami, who I also dance with sometimes when I take a heels class. They were there to console me because I could not, in my mind, save my child. After that visitation, I was hit in court with more motions, more visitation requests for days that he was not even in town. And there was one time where we actually did communicate and came up with a visitation schedule, and flights had already been made, but his attorneys wanted to go to court claiming that I was denying visitation. I went to court that day and I showed the judge that we already had the flight information. His attorneys sat there and were acting so oblivious as if they had no idea. In 2013, I'm hit with more court filings and requests to produce as usual. But around April, I'm hearing rumors of another baby. Well, come June, that baby is born, a little boy. And I say on Twitter, congratulations, happy birthday. This baby was born in California, my Little House on the Prairie, Sister C, and he has now been traded to Houston. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I am here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 6. We are now in the fall of 2013. I am getting my son prepared for kindergarten. I have actually gotten him tested, and he has been diagnosed with ADHD. For those of us with children who have ADHD and have taken medication for it, you know ADHD medication is not something that you can start and just stop cold turkey. So there were visitations that were happening and they were refusing to give him his medication. I was also against him traveling so much because he's literally in kindergarten, the first grade of grade school. So outside of my son having to travel on Friday nights to Sunday evenings just to get up for school the next day and go, I am now concerned because they are refusing to give him his medication. They lied and said that they had a doctor from Sarasota come and examine him. And when I spoke to that doctor in Sarasota, that doctor said that he absolutely did not examine my son. He only told them what the medications that he was taking were for. He also let them know that it was dangerous to stop the medication cold turkey. They did it anyway.
Wow, guys. Listening to her story, I'm floored. Like, what judge would keep taking from a mother and a child? And then for a basketball player, then he had all these other women. You verbally and physically abused this little bitty thing. Royce Little. You throwing her, slanging her against uh fireplaces or whatever. I'm like, yo. Then the fact of the matter that he done had all these different babies, 5. Then you come up, you get with some other woman, and she is supposed to be the end all be all. Y'all get married. I think she said they got married. Uh, y'all have a child, and you're not even married to her. Or is he married to her? I don't know. Y'all, this story is something that we've been hearing for a long time with women in the field. These ladies, these dancers, cheerleaders, they go through this with these guys all the time. But it's the ones that stay quiet and that stay quiet. And then the black girls, we not staying quiet after a while. We coming out because they going after us. They going after us with the money. They shutting us down. They want us to take care of them. But women, other women, not of our color, y'all know what I mean. They'll take care of them without a doubt. They'll take care of those women. You see what they doing now? Look at all the doggone football players. The two that I've seen in the news, two black men. They not women. Listen. They not dating the women of their race, and it's nothing wrong. It's all good. I don't care about you dating outside your race, but it's how you talk about the women in your race. If you know what I mean. If y'all get what I'm saying. I'm not a racist person. I love black. Hell, I love me some white men. I ain't gonna even lie. Shoot, I didn't look that too. Sexy white men, they act chocolate, they act black, like they black men. But I've had a little Justin Timberlake in my life, every now and again, when I first was going in and out of the hospital, I met my first boyfriend in the hospital. He didn't have no legs, y'all, but he was real sweet. Real sweet. He was burnt. He had got burnt up in the house fire and lost his legs and had burnt all over his body. White boy, real sweet, real cute. He showed me of a picture how he looked before he got burnt up in the house fire when he was younger. So I'm like, well, it couldn't have been about maybe 2 years, since when I had met him. I know this off topic, but I'm just saying, that you can't, I'm not saying, and I don't feel like I have to explain. I'm just explaining because I don't want nobody to say, "Oh, you racist." No, I'm not. I just I love me. I love my black men. I want them to love us. If you get what I'm saying, because this man clearly don't love the black women that he was with. And then the one that he with now, it's just like he takes them and he uses them. If you feel what I'm saying, he uses those women. He messes their minds up, and then he do whatever he want to do. That's just me, So, and then another thing she had said to what was it? When she started talking about Sister C. And she was like, this one, yo, listen to how she talk about Sister C. She don't say nothing bad about her. She say this woman is everything that he wanted. She was church going. She was ready to be the housewife. Everything he wanted. Everything he wanted. But then how would it all? But then that's what I'm saying. And then you go over here, fast forward to now, you look at who his fiance. Oh, so you went and got another, but a younger Mrs. C. Oh, okay, I see what you doing. And then y'all go over there to, I think her name is Tiffany Render. Go over to her page because she got a story too that she finna get ready to share, and I think it's gonna be on the what is the name of that show? It's Orlando, the Ladies of Orlando or something. And when I tell you her story is coming, because I seen a clip, and I think Royce is gonna maybe be an extra on the show. I hope that she makes some appearances and get her little coins. But now she can speak on it. He can't do nothing to her. You can't. He keeps stopping her paychecks, and see that's what's really bothering a lot of women now. He keep trying to stop this girl paychecks. Every chance she get, she's worked. She's did stuff. I've seen some movies she done on Tubi, and with Basketball Wives, you took all that girl money. You you kept having her in family court, in civil court. You kept fighting this girl. For what? To drain her dry? The girl was nothing but a dancer from the Jump Street. When she got that role, that was supposed to elevate her. She got with Shawnee. She could have elevated. You didn't want that girl to elevate. You didn't want her to get higher than you. Because let's be honest. Even though we call him Superman and he was good for what he was back in the day, Superman. But but he had to go overseas because he wasn't as good as all these new, like the LeBron Jameses, and because you stop hearing about the White Howard. He wasn't that he wasn't that prominent, so he had to go over there and go to another part of the world to go play basketball because he had already made this girl was going in on him at first, and then he turned around and then yeah. So yeah, we gonna get more off into the story. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the post notification bell, y'all. Parts uh I want to say, y'all, the next parts, I think it's going to be, I think it's 7 through 9 that we got to do. And then I got more coming on this story. Y'all, things have took a turn. So I'm going to get back with y'all with that. So again, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the post noti so that when I upload, you know that I've done so. Peace, y'all. Peace, my empty nesters.